From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
What are we doing enough to be prepared here at Homely Project?
Securing the hallways and protecting young lives, what Montana schools are doing to ensure safety in the wake of the Minneapolis school shooting.
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena. As the controversy surrounding Montana's top utility regulators continues, one member of the Public Service Commission is now asking the governor to suspend another member from his duties.
1, 2, 3, hard work! I'm confident in all of our ability to go out there and execute and win.
And once rivals, now teammates. A look at the season ahead for two high schools now wearing the same jerseys. Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Thursday, August 28th. I'm Hailey Monaco here with Miller Robson.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Hailey.
Good morning.
And to the final days of August as we head into the long Labor Day weekend. How's the weather shaping up? We'll tell you all about that as we go along this hour. Let's take a step back in time. It's a great shot there of Sydney, but we just geek out over this new webcam that we got. Great shots coming out of there. 82 yesterday, so pretty seasonal yesterday. Our low of 61, so a little bit above the board, but next couple of days, very seasonal. Well, actually very fall-like when we move forward, but we'll try to warm back up as we get across the weekend. 24-mile-an-hour gusts yesterday. We did have some rain last night here in Billings. In fact, we'll go ahead and take a look at that here in just a second, but it didn't amount to much of anything, so we're still in the hole for the month, but still pacing ahead for the year. Back this up 12 hours, you can see we did have some shower activity last night here in the Magic City, even had some thunderstorms around Lodge Grass, but again, very, very minimal measurements officially at the airport, but next couple of days we can actually see hopefully a decent amount of rain coming in. We always could use the moisture. Temperatures across the region right now, we've got 64 in Miles City, 63 in Roundup, 60 in Jordan, Hardin, you're at 61, Red Lodge at 55, up in White Sulphur Springs, we're at 54, 59 and 59 both in Cody and Sheridan. Sheridan seeing a little bit of rain this morning. Now here in Billings, we could see some drops of rain as we go along today, but otherwise just some clouds to start. We got 63 right now at the airport, winds out the southwest at about 7 miles an hour. But later this evening, that's when we have a better chance of maybe seeing some of that shower and thunderstorm activity. If we get up to 77 today, we're going to be below average. So west to east, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Even cooler tomorrow before we warm up and dry out across the weekend. We'll take a look at all of this with the forecast coming up in just a bit.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Miller.
Yeah.
We begin in Minneapolis this morning, where the first week of school was marred by a horrific shooting. Police say a suspect opened fire on a mass full of Catholic school students yesterday, killing 2 young children and wounding 14 other kids. Authorities say 3 adult worshipers, all in their 80s, were also injured. Nidia Cazvaso has more from Minneapolis as police search for answers.
Prayer services and a candlelight vigil in Minneapolis as the community comes together after unspeakable tragedy.
We are a city united in grief. Let us take the next step to be a city united in action.
Hours earlier, police say a suspect shot through the windows of an Annunciation Catholic church during a mass full of students from the church's school. 2 young children, just 8 and 10 years old, were killed.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children.
5th grader Weston Halsney says he ran and hid under a pew after he heard the gunshots.
My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit. I hope he's good in the hospital.
Parents were visibly shaken as they later reunited with their children. Police say the suspect, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, died from self-inflicted gunshot wound. They also say that Westman was carrying 3 weapons, all legally purchased at the time of the shooting.
We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
Flags in Minnesota and at the White House were lowered to half-staff. The FBI says it's investigating the incident as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. Nidia Cavazos, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Police say the suspect was armed with 3 guns, all legally purchased, and that they recovered more firearms connected to the suspect after executing search warrants at the church and at 3 residential places in the city. The Minneapolis Foundation has set up a fundraiser for the victims. The bishop of the Great Falls Billings Catholic Archdiocese is also reflecting on the shooting in Minnesota. He shared some of his thoughts on social media, saying, quote, "In moments like these, prayer must lead us to action. Let us be agents of healing, consoling the grieving, supporting the wounded, and advocating for a safer world where all people, especially children, can learn, worship, and grow without fear." You can read the bishop's full reflection right now at ktvq.com. The president of the Billings Teachers Union says educators are no longer just thinking about the possibility of a school shooting, they're preparing for it. Lance Edwards says schools are partnering with a parent advisory committee along with one goal. They all have one goal: stopping a threat before it starts.
If you look at what our parent safety committee has done and what they've tried to recommend, the idea of these response teams that are put in place, I think the identification of threats before they become threats is the most important thing a community can do.
News of another mass school shooting is heartache for parents and students ready to get back into the classroom here in Montana. This morning, our Charlie Kleps takes a look at some of the steps local schools are taking to make sure students stay safe.
In the wake of another tragedy,
it's terrible, obviously.
All eyes have been turned to Minnesota.
What those teachers and those parents and those kids must all be going through, thinking about them.
And with incidents like this happening all too often, local schools have already been taking steps to make themselves more secure.
You try and take something from the situations, you try and learn something new.
At Billings Central, Principal Nolan Trafton is in the process of upgrading these gates to better control who comes into the building.
Those will eventually be secured, and you will need to be buzzed in those gates.
And that's not the only change. Security cameras are being installed as well.
To address some of the blind spots and some more security at entrances, especially our main entrance.
At Huntley Project, it's a similar story.
We have a night lock in every single classroom.
K-4 Principal Ben Lambert says every single classroom has been installed with these night locks, following approved legislation last year.
There was some fire code issues for a while there with having them. We worked our way through that.
When in place, Lambert says intruders would essentially need a battering ram to open any doors.
So we also have what's called the E3 app on every staff member's phone.
The staff at Huntley is also equipped digitally. This app can sound the alarm at any time and even allows for attendance to be taken so all kids are accounted for.
It allows us to communicate quickly and easily without having to try and use phones or intercoms and all the other things that might be in place.
Just earlier this month, Billings schools officials attended a safety summit and some local churches participated in a safety event as well. All efforts being made statewide to avoid any disasters coming closer to home.
It's always a tough thing to see these situations happen, and then making sure that we take that and make ourselves better and be more prepared for our kids.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie, thank you. Well, there was a lot of excitement in Custer County yesterday where law enforcement used a pit maneuver to bring the chase of a robbery suspect to an end on Interstate 94. Police say it all started around 11 Wednesday morning when a man robbed the U.S. Bank on Main Street in Miles City. About 10 minutes later, the suspected bank robber's vehicle was spotted on the interstate and police and sheriff's deputies began chasing him, finally using a pit maneuver and arresting the suspect. The controversy engulfing the elected body that regulates utilities in Montana is heating up as one member of the Public Service Commission has signed a letter asking the governor to temporarily remove the commission's chair, Brad Molnar of Laurel. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian breaks down the latest turn in this ongoing issue.
Last month, Brad Molnar, president of the Montana Public Service Commission, announced to reporters that he was being investigated over allegations of unprofessional conduct. Now the commission's vice president has called for Molnar to be suspended while that investigation continues. The documents behind this came to light this week when an attorney representing Molnar posted them on social media. In a letter to Governor Greg Gianforte, PSC Vice President Jennifer Fielder said, quote, "Commissioner Molnar has been using his high-level position in a multitude of ways to thwart the investigation and stop it from reaching its conclusion. She said leaders had a responsibility to prevent retaliation and harassment, and that, quote, as a result of Commissioner Molnar's own actions, it has become abundantly clear that this is not possible with his presence in the workplace." Fielder confirmed to me that she had signed a letter on behalf of the PSC's response team, which handles internal complaints. But she declined to comment further, saying the letter speaks for itself. Molnar, who has called the entire investigation improper and refused to cooperate, told me suspending him would be overturning an election and an attack on his rights.
I am definitely being treated differently than any other commissioner, and that's all the way down the line.
Molnar's attorney released a response to the governor's office, calling Fielder's request unlawful and saying, quote, her complaint fails every legal standard Montana courts have established for gubernatorial suspensions of elected officials. Throughout this process, Molnar has argued that he is being targeted for political reasons, including his opinion that the commission should be tougher on large utilities.
Everything is to silence me from talking about facts. I am fighting to talk about facts.
Fielder's letter says the request for a suspension is in no way based on Molnar's policy decisions or the original allegations, but on the need to complete the investigation without interference. I reached out to Gianforte's office to ask about the complaint. A spokesperson said, quote, the governor's office is committed to an impartial review of any complaints made, and that they've committed to due process as the matter moves forward. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, we have some exciting news for television sports fans this morning. Charter Communications has launched the Spot MTN to its Spectrum customers throughout Montana. That means if you're watching us on Spectrum Cable right now, you can now access all the extra programming we offer on the Spot MTN. Here's what you need to know. The Spot MTN can now be seen on cable channel 11. Throughout the college football season, you'll have access to different Bobcat and Grizzly games on the Spot, plus here on KTVQ. Next Saturday, Scripps Sports will bring you South Dakota State at Montana State on KTVQ and Central Washington at Montana on the Spot. You can see the entire schedule at mtnmontana.com. The Spot MTN is also your home for Grizzly Insider and Bobcat Insider. New episodes premiere every Wednesday starting at 6. And if you're a hockey fan, you can also watch the Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth once the season begins. This morning's Montana Ag Report, ahead of temperatures cooling down within the next few months, folks are out enjoying some of the last big blooms of the season. MTN's Ali Kaiser spoke with one avid gardener and someone who is helping him solve a plant problem free of charge.
I don't see any crawling around on the plant right now. It seems like they're all kind of housed in here, and so now wouldn't be a good time to control them.
Sophia Franz-Lubers is a Montana State University agriculture extension agent in Lewis and Clark County.
It's very different every day.
She got a call from Len Walsh after he noticed something was wrong with the Mugo pine in his front lawn.
I've worked in gardens and stuff a lot, and I knew it was getting stressed.
From a short chat,
you're getting less of the sunlight there.
And looking at the pine, Franz-Lubers quickly figured out it was pine needle scale.
It just kind of sucks out the juice from those needles over time.
The services she provides are part of Extension, which is a partnership between Montana State University, counties, state, and federal agencies. Extension is tax funded and is usually free to the community.
The only things that aren't free is when we have to put in a lot of money that is not in our budget.
In the warmer months, Franz-Lubers answers a lot of gardening and agricultural related questions, ranging from plant identifications to site visits like she did with Walsh.
I'm a biologist myself, so I love living organisms. Some of them are out to get other things, but they're just trying to make a living too.
When winter hits, Extension work focuses more on providing workshops and courses for the community, like the Master Gardening Program.
We can give them information without looking for something in return.
Extension has been around for over 100 years and is one way folks from urban gardeners to rural ranchers can learn how to protect their plants without feeling pressured to purchase anything.
We won't actually do anything to your yard, but we can provide you all of that research-based educational information to give you the next steps.
And learning about the possible next steps is all that Walsh wanted.
Understanding how the world goes around is important, and that makes you enjoy it even more.
There are 97 MSU Extension agents spread across the state, and you can find where to contact the office closest to you by visiting this story on our website. In Helena, I'm Allie Kaiser, MTN News.